Well, good evening and welcome back. We are live at the Suncoast Bowling Center, the PBA Suncoast Senior U.S. Open here. Craig Elliott along with PBA Hall of Famer Marshall Holman, and we are getting ready for the Stepladder final. Marshall, the big question, can anybody take out the big Finn, Mika Koivuniemi? He's been pretty dominant today.
Well, if he keeps doing what he's doing, Mika's going to win this tournament. But, when you get to a one-game final, it becomes, we're in Vegas, so we can call it a crapshoot, and it is a little bit like that. So there are four players that are going to be vying to take on Mika in our first match, Ryan Shafer and Brian Kretzer. That'll be a very, very interesting match. Shafer, who was up at the up end of the tournament for most of the match play, had a lot of trouble in his last 6 games, but bailed it out in games 5 and 6, and so he's there. He's got a chance. Parker Bohn III, the great Hall of Famer, is going to be in our second match. We've got Brian Voss, the stylish Hall of Famer, in the number 2 position, and they're all trying to get Mika Koivuniemi.
Yeah, and you mentioned Shafer. He was up towards the top all tournament long, fell back a little bit, but 297 late in the second round of match play jumped him back up in there, and he's got a chance now to get his first PBA 50 title.
Well, and he's hungry for it, But I've got a connection with Brian. In 1987, I was PBA Player of the Year. He was PBA Rookie of the Year, and now here he is, a 50-plus bowler vying for the U.S. Open.
And Kretzer finished third in this event a couple of years ago, so he has experience in this building in the Stepladder finals, looking to get a win for himself as well.
Yeah, and a player that he may not bowl a good game, but he's not going to. It won't be because he took it in the neck. He's a very, very tough competitor, and I look for him to do well.
So these players finished up 12 rounds of match play today, and we re-oiled, started things over. Is there an advantage for anyone back on the fresh, you think?
Well, I'm sure that some of the bowlers bowl better on the fresh than others, but they're all going to have to combat them. They know their equipment. They've had a chance to practice, and we're going to get ready and start our first game off right away. I don't see much of an advantage for either Kretzer or Shafer because it's not like one throws the ball straight and one hooks it. They both like to stay a little bit toward the inside of the lane and hook the ball. So we'll just have to see what happens. Ball coming in light, leaving the 210.
Well, that looked like I got off his hand awful fast, didn't it?
Yeah. Didn't get the proper leverage at the release point.
10-pin fall?
Well, I didn't see it fall.
No one else was
he's
watching
asking. Somebody had to have seen that.
No, Ryan didn't notice, and the John Weber's they're going to get reset. Yep,
somebody had. Right, somebody saw it. I mean, there are too many. There are too many people. I mean, if I was Brian right now, I'd be hoping nobody was watching.
Yes. But we know there are lots of people watching right here live on Xtra Frame.
Needs to get the ball to the left side of the 2-pin, slide it into the 10. It's makeable, but difficult. Too much of the 2-pin. And a bit of a gift for Ryan Shafer. I would imagine Ryan will be playing a similar line to Brian. He'll drift left, throw the ball to the right, and hook it back. Now he's further out. His ball comes in high. 3-6-10. Take a look at Ryan Shafer. Comes up with the line a little bit. The ball's going to go through the heart. And he leaves a 3-6-10. The lanes are a little easier after transition. The fresh can be a little problematic.
Well, and no surprise to see Ryan Shafer do well in a U.S. Open, a tougher condition here. I mean, 14 times he's made major telecasts without a title in his PBA career. So he likes him tough. He knows how to grind him out. And still looking for his first senior tour win after his rookie season last year. Not quite what he was hoping for, but he's had a couple good tournaments this year. Finished 5th in Long Island, and obviously he bowled very, very well here this week.
Yeah, I've been a quality bowler for a long time. Came out on tour 1987. I'm not sure he thought he'd still be bowling 31 years later, but here he is, still making quality shots. There's a great shot. Kretzer playing deeper, throwing it slower, wheeling the ball out to the right. Shafer maybe a little more versatile. He can do that same thing, get in deep and wheel it, but he's a little more down and in right now.
Well, and Kretzer, he likes to get in and do that. That's kind of his favorite thing to do. He's done it for years. He's worked really hard on playing straighter at times, but right now in this condition, he can get in and get into his wheelhouse.
He's staying with his A game.
Just one national title for Brian. He's been a lot of shows. Been around for a long time, but just that one title so far.
Strong release. Likes to hook it, but he can play more direct. But his A game is definitely hooking it. I'm not really sure how many steps he takes. He didn't like that off his hand, and it's just going to be the 10-pin. That must have been a little quick off his hand, a little trouble with the approach. And a lot of the bowlers have had problems this week with it slipping a little bit here and there, sticking a little bit here and there.
I'm not sure what he didn't like.
Yeah, the ball looked good off his hand, but he wasn't happy with it. No, he didn't like it immediately. He won't hook it at the spare. And he takes care of the 10-pin.
Shafer, a 5-time PBA Tour titleist.
I think the ball that he threw in the first frame was just left off his hand. He just didn't trust it. There is out of bounds. You can't throw it too far to the right or it will not recover. Strong. Boy, that 10-pin just beat up by the 6-pin off the sideboard. That's when you know you're matched up right. Watch the second pin to the right, the 6-pin, as it goes into the flat gutter. Bang. Just destroys the 10-pin. As a bowler, the 10 frames of a televised final go by very, very fast. Beautiful shot.
Looks like he's getting dialed in pretty good.
Yeah,
right now.
really taking advantage of the early open by Kretzer. Shafer's really put it to him. Spare 3-bagger. The familiar style of Ryan Shafer. He's always had that little bit of a move where he sort of comes up a little bit at release. The key is to do it the same way all the time. Kretzer trying to fight back, but that ball goes high, leaves the 3, the 6, and the 10. Never got the ball far enough to the right. Fortunately, the 9-pin's not there, so it's made a little bit easier, but still you don't want to, this isn't a spare you want to be shooting at this time of a tournament.
Uh-oh.
That's got to get some luck. It did. He pulled it.
Just doesn't look like he's gotten comfortable at all.
No. He's trying to play the lanes a little bit like they were, after the transition happened, and you could get in and throw it to the right. Shafer is certainly at this point looks like he's made the right decision, staying out a little bit further right.
Well, and these players spent 8-9 hours here, 12 games throughout the day, just creeping left. Now we wiped it all away, put out the fresh. So how hard is it just to tell your mind, look, that's not there anymore? Right?
Yeah.
Is that what Kretzer's fighting a little bit?
Yeah, it looks like he's definitely fighting. I think he was comfortable. He made a big move the last 6 games of match play, and the lanes have changed. The lanes have been re-oiled, so it. Right through the heart, Greek Church. Didn't miss by much, Craig, but just enough. And that opens up this game wide open for Brian Kretzer. This is going to take what was a rather nice cushion, and we'll watch this ball just go right through the heart.
Yeah, that looks left all the way. You see his reaction. He thought he threw it right where he wanted, but I think that was just a bit left.
For Shafer right now, get a minimum of 8 pins. Yeah, he did that. He's now working at a 201 pace. Kretzer working at a 186 pace, so it's a 15-pin lead. It was a lot bigger about 30 seconds ago.
But you said many times you have to have that short memory. He's got to just forget about it. It's a new shot.
Yeah, you got to
just move on. Right?
Put it behind him. There's just not a lot of room, especially left. The oil hasn't been pushed down the lane far enough, so if you get a little short with it, it goes right through the heart. Well, and then a terrible break. Ball goes right past the 9-pin. We'll get another look at this. This ball is just beautifully thrown. But in today's world, with the dynamic balls that we have, the 9-pin has become like the modern day 4-pin.
Sure. And there was a lot of 9-pins here this week, and then the danger was you make a move off that and you bring that OB back into play.
Just keep your concentration, pick up the spare. Seen some funky spares missed. And almost another one.
And the crowd goes, ooh.
He tried to hook at that, and most modern day players will take another look at this. You'll see that it's just going to catch the edge of the pin. Most modern day players will take their spare ball and go hard and straight.
I don't remember the player, but earlier this week missed a 3-pin. Like I say, just lack of concentration.
Yeah.
And just it's like, well, how do you miss it? Well, that's how. Kretzer a chance to get right back in this now.
He likes it. Yeah. You could tell as soon as they threw the ball, he was very pleased with the delivery. Just a 5-pin deficit over about the 17 board out to about 9, and then hooking back into the pocket.
Strike carry, and he gets the lead.
Yep. Through 4 frames, Shafer was in big command of this game. And now, as you said, with a strike here, Kretzer could take the lead. Did that get far enough right? The answer is yes. And we have a new leader. Nice touch. High flush. You need to have a short memory, but you also need to remember to get this ball projected down the lane. That was a problem the last time in the right-hand lane. I think he liked that off his hand, but look, he hit up on it a little bit harder.
Well, and the big difference the last couple shots between him and Kretzer is Kretzer's just a little bit softer at the bottom, and it's not grabbing off the spot like the last couple shots for Shafer on that lane. So you think he has to go straight at this, right? I mean, to what that 9
You
pin
would
just
think,
did.
but it looks like doesn't look like a spare ball to me. Looks like he's sticking with the strike ball. Nicely done. He just needs to settle it down. He's gotten a little bit out of his rhythm over the last few frames. Made a great shot the last time on this left-hand lane, left a solid 9.
What kind of adjustment you can make off that 9 pin?
But just might creep just a little bit further left, but not much. Problem with believing the solid 9 is if he hits that same spot and he's a little bit soft, it could be the Great Church again. Beautiful shot. Not much difference between that and the 9 pin.
No.
We'll watch this ball go through the pins. See if that ball actually touches the 9 pin, and it does. Kretzer with an 8-pin lead can extend to 18 with a strike here in the 8th. It's got to hurry. That was right off his hand immediately. He could miss a little bit to the right, but he better not miss it with his hand when he releases it.
You see the replay here. This one never has a chance.
Nope.
He knows it.
Yeah, well, it's past the break point.
So that's when you just think, okay, just don't hook at all and get rid of that 210. But unfortunately,
needs to make this to keep the lead. It's going back and forth. Shafer with a big lead, and then wide open split. Kretzer threw a couple of strikes, took the lead, and now Shafer with a 6-pin lead with a strike up in the 8th.
Well, Kretzer can max at 212. Shafer's pacing 198. And as we've seen, anything can happen here.
Oh, absolutely.
It just keeps going back and forth.
Something.
Telephone.
Now, if I were Brian, I'd put the ball down and start the mechanism all over again. He chose to hang on to it. Important shot. Foundation frame. Beautifully done. Way to get your concentration back.
So now adjustments here. Greek Church, 3-6-10 the last 2 shots.
Well,
for Shafer on this right lane.
We see the replay of Kretzer's strike. I think for Shafer right now, he wants to trust the ball, but he knows that if he throws it just a pinch out to the right, it's not going to recover. If he could somehow strike on this shot, I think the match is his, because he's confident on the left-hand lane. He's questioning himself on this lane, and with every reason to.
Well, if he doesn't strike here, he cannot shut out Brian Kretzer.
That was further right. And there's the 210. That's what the fear was.
Right.
We'll watch this ball go further down the lane. Should start breaking there, but it just hangs. Ball comes behind the head pin. Leaves the 2 and the 10. Shafer, a pretty good split shooter. I wouldn't be shocked to see him give this a good go. Waiting for his ball to come back. Does he not implement a spare ball?
You know what? I'm not sure. But, this seems to be a good time to throw a plastic ball straight up the left side at that 2-pin. But maybe he's not prone to do that.
Yeah, I think we've got a ball return. The ball has not come back yet. There it is. And like you said, even if he makes this, he cannot shut out Brian Kretzer. Good try, but not to be. The lead is now 6 for Kretzer. Shafer can strike out for 196. I think right now, if I'm Parker Bohn, and I'm liking what I'm seeing because he sees 2 right-handers that are a little bit lost.
And Parker Bohn, our 3 seed, gets the winner of this match. So Shafer needs to double to force a strike from Kretzer.
Needs to at least make a quality shot, get a mark to force Kretzer to at least show up in the 10th frame. Oh, it's over.
Wow.
Close.
Wow, there's a break.
That would have been cruel.
Brutal. Another look.
Take another look. Watches the ball, passes the 9-pin. Not exactly sure what it was that came back and got it, but didn't.
The 11 pin.
All I know is that
It was the right pin. Staring it down.
Shafer's happy.
Little strike here forces a strikeout.
Got a
Kretzer.
hold. Beautiful.
Tightened up a little bit, a little firmer maybe.
Yeah, that ball definitely did not go as far to the right as the last one. Now the right lane has been the lane that's been giving the bowlers the problems. We see Shafer again with that second ball in the 10th.
Well, this 10th frame, he's doing the best he can hope for. He forces his opponent to get up and strike first ball in the 10th.
Kretzer has struck 2 times on the right-hand lane and missed 2 times on the right-hand lane. Just needs a decent count. That's the best kind.
Now Kretzer 210 his last shot on this lane.
That's what Ryan Shafer did the last shot on that lane. There's seems to be more of a hang spot on the right-hand lane, which you don't want to send it too far right because it won't come back. But you pinch it a little bit, you risk the shot right through the heart. Kretzer just needs to muster up the best shot that he can make right now. Give himself an opportunity. A strike probably wins. And a great shot. Beautiful shot from Kretzer.
8 on the next shot is enough. He knew it off his hand.
Yeah.
Oh, that confident stroke. Yep, got it.
Well, nothing's a given. We saw what happened with Norm Duke.
Now look what he's doing. He's going right down the middle.
That is smart. That's showing some savvy right there.
Taking Greek Church out of play or
Yep.
taking 4 through the face out of play.
That was a good call, saying he was going to go right down the middle.
Brian Kretzer advances, and he gets a match against PBA USBC Hall of Famer, 2-time PBA Player of the Year, Parker Bohn III. Coming up next right here, great tournament for Ryan Shafer. His best finish in a major here on the PBA 50 Tour. And just another major where Shafer just comes up a little bit short, but he's always in the mix at the big events.
Kretzer 208, Shafer was 196, is that correct?
196, yes. So Parker Bohn III, Brian Kretzer up next here. Suncoast PBA Senior U.S. Open. Well, here we go. Craig Elliott, Marshall Holman back at Suncoast. And Parker in deep thought here. waiting for the scores to get up there.
And Parker, if you just look at the record, you would make Parker a huge favorite. I make him a slight favorite, although the player who just played the last game always has generally a little bit of advantage because he's used to the atmosphere. He's got a game on the pair. Kretzer did finish strong, but there were a couple problems in the middle of the game for him. Parker, the most stylish lefty on tour since Dave Davis, back to the 60s and 70s. Right lane having a little bit of problem setting up a full rack. Parker's going to take care of that.
Parker qualified third at 8-3-1 match play record. 21 pins ahead of Ryan Shafer for that 3 spot in the standings.
Something else. You're not gonna fluster Parker Bohn the third.
Pretty easygoing guy as well.
Yeah, where I used to growl in that situation, Parker smiles.
That looked right all the way.
Well, it was a little bit right, but it turned out not being wrong. That was a good break. Not the greatest shot that Parker's ever thrown, but we'll take a look at it. It just didn't get left enough off his hand. Fortunate. And that little bit of a break between the first and the second game hasn't seemed to stop Kretzer at all. I tried to count his steps. I don't know if it's 7 or 8.
Yes, I think it's both. Just depends on he just got that little shuffle timing type thing. Back Buttroff or
back in the day. I don't even think Mark Roth knew how many steps he was going to take. He would take 5, 6, or 7. It just sort of depended. He was just a complete field player. Kretzer looking to get off to an early double. Okay, that was 7. And perfect. High flush in the pocket, a little past the 9 pin, but they're all down. We'll take a look at this power shot.
After that one. I think he might have got away with one there, and he knows it. A little wry smile after coming off the approach.
It was a tad inside his target, but if you're matched up right, you can have a little bit of room out there. You can't score having to throw it perfectly every shot. You have to have a little room left and right. We take a look at Parker trying to even this match up. And as good as the break was in the first frame, that's how bad that was. That was a high pack, solid 10.
How does nothing touch this pin?
It just goes on top of it.
Wow.
And around it.
Through it almost, it looked like.
Well.
But not possible.
No. Parker's satisfied with the delivery, not so satisfied with the result.
Kurtz off in the distance, we've got Brian Voss and Mika Koivuniemi staying loose. Voss gets the winner of this Bohn Kretzer match.
Yes. Parker has fun. Parker is entertaining. Power shot from Parker Bohn. Messenger goes to the sideboard, takes care of the 7 pin, and he gives us he kind of gives us the 10-finger moose. Kretzer for 3 in a row. He likes it. Ooh, solid 10. 6 pin wraps around the bottom of the 10 pin.
That's really the first shot that he stood there and watched all the way. I think he liked that a lot.
Yeah, he was very satisfied off his hand with that shot. Kretzer does go with the spare ball. Well done. Kretzer doesn't like what he sees. Probably the 1 and the 3 a little tight, so he's taking a re-rack. I believe they're allowed 2 re-racks during the televised stepladder final.
Yep, 2, and then if you need another one, you've got your tournament director right there that can assist you as
yeah,
needed.
Can bring him in and ask.
I think that was only 6 steps, Marshall.
Well,
it still worked.
Great shot. His first shot, his first step is a little bit of a shuffle. I think the lanes are actually coming to Brian Kretzer right now. As the oil goes down a little bit further, he's got a little more hold in the front end.
Sure looks that way.
Parker is on the left side of the lane all by himself.
Which sometimes there's a definite advantage, but sometimes there's not. If you need to try to create some sort of push and carry down, you're on your own.
You're on your own, totally. Another really good shot. He won't throw a better shot than he did in the second frame where he left that 10-pin. That was just gorgeous.
Yeah, this is the definition of being matched up. Look at that, just
look how solid. He's so solid at the line. You know, it's a beautiful thing, and we're going to see something similar on the right-hand side of the lane the next game with Brian Voss. You know, Parker Bohn and Brian Voss, two of the most stylish players. If you had a son or a daughter, you'd say watch them. If you're left-handed, watch. Even if you're right-handed, watch the way that Parker throws the ball, and the same thing can be said for Brian Voss.
Ooh, asked for it to hook a little, and it did.
Just does get the 10-pin. This ball's going to go a little further left down the lane. The last pin to go, it's the 10-pin. Just doesn't look that much different than he did 30 years ago.
Maybe an extra gray hair or two, but other than that.
15 pounds maybe. Will that get back? Beautifully.
Yeah, he's definitely created a little bit of area for himself now. No doubt. We got one heck of a match right here.
Watch the 6-pin, third from the right. That does the damage on the 10. Both these players lined up, throwing lots of strikes. I think he was expecting nothing but 10 when that ball left his hand.
Well, this won't be a 196-208 game here.
Certainly doesn't look like it. Kretzer.
Nice projection.
Just, if you can put your ball high flush, that's where you want it. That's your highest carry percentage. Kretzer working 229 pace right now. Parker needs a strike here to regain the lead. If they both went out the sheet, Parker 280, Kretzer 279. Hold, Paul. Yeah.
Oh, that was right.
Yeah, that was not good off his hand. Never trusted it. Ball hooked early. Fortunate just to leave the 4-pin. Easy spare. Just wiping the oil off the ball. Has done for it's habitual that bowlers do that, but you want a clean surface when you throw your ball.
Well, and also just part of your routine, right? Just kind of
Sure.
keep doing the same thing over each time. You wipe the shoe, wipe the ball.
Yep.
Deep breath, get up there and go.
Hang
Look right
on.
again.
Just a bit right, and a bad break.
This one bounced a little bit too.
Yeah, didn't quite get it far enough to the left. 8 pins go down quickly. 6-8, not so much. Nope.
Little update of some of the other finishers here. Pete Weber in 6th. Alan Seneval, we enjoyed watching him. The Swede put on a heck of a show. 7th. Steve Smith out of San Diego, former Team USA player. In 8th. Eric Forkel, former Tour champion. 9th. Rolando Sebelin out of Dominican Republic. That's your top 10 here at the Suncoast Senior U.S. Open.
Opportunity for Brian Kretzer to really put some hurt onto Parker Bohn III. Good shot. Strong. Now, if you're Brian Voss, you're thinking, I hope he just gets rid of all his good shots this game and
use up the breaks now.
Yeah, you use them up now. Taking a re-rack on the left-hand lane. Now, is that a towel, or is that?
Yeah, one of the I forget the term, but yeah, it's the same thing, towel.
Yeah.
It really tries to draw more off the ball than a towel instead of just
because they're not allowed to scuff
Correct.
the ball during competition.
Yes.
Kretzer right now showing a lot of authority in this game. He's working at a 240 pace. Watch that ball come back hard and just rip the rack.
Yeah, 236 max score, Parker Bohn III. Needs a double here to remind Kretzer I'm still here.
Well, he must strike the next couple shots, or Kretzer can just sort of waltz up there and whoops, that will do it. Right now, we don't expect anybody to make the big four, so it's probably going to be 2-10 will be the best that Parker can shoot.
It's kind of shocking the last 3 shots we saw from Parker. All 3
it
just
is
errant shots.
It is. He'll finish it out like a pro. Soft 7-pin. And you can see he's shaking his head. You know, this isn't going to be his day.
Well, is that maybe because he doesn't have anybody else on his side to help get him some push?
Well, that's part of it. That's definitely part of it. But, I mean, he's used to being alone on that side.
True.
The best Parker can shoot is 204, and Brian just sort of needs to just to stay upright. I think he will. But you know, it's important to keep striking, to keep the momentum going. You know, if he were to get up in the 10th frame and leave a 210 or come in high and leave a split, that's bad mental energy for his next game.
Why not try a different ball now, though? It's free practice.
Well, I think he's lined up so much with this ball that he doesn't want to even give himself another option.
Okay.
And as I said, that just puts a little bit of self-doubt coming into the next game. He's going to win. I mean, he's got 215 in the 8th frame. Parker can do no better than 204. he'd certainly like to make this, give himself one more shot so he can make a quality shot on his fill ball. But he won't.
No.
Well, maybe he was just trying to strike ball there.
Little move inside, just do the same thing and see what kind of reaction you got. 243 with an open 10th, Brian Kretzer. Heck of a ball game. And he will advance to the semifinal match here at the Senior U.S. Open. And he will take on Brian Voss.
From one Hall of Famer to another.
Doesn't get any easier.
No. And I'm sure that Voss has been paying attention to what Kretzer's been doing, because he is going to be bowling on the same side of the lane.
Well, and he can get in and get right on top of Kretzer, too. Play very similar lines,
Absolutely.
and that could definitely have an effect on both players.
Absolutely.
So Parker's still playing in the crowd, looking for his applause for that spare. So semifinal match coming up here next. We've got Brian Kretzer and Brian Voss. The Battle of the Bryans here in Las Vegas. Up next, live on Xtra Frame. Final preparations underway for this semifinal match here at the Suncoast PBA Senior U.S. Open. And as tradition has it, it's also award week here on the Senior Tour. And as we kick things off this week here at Suncoast, John Weber presented some awards. Ron Moore, PBA 60 Player of the Year. No surprise there. Ron is always tough out here. Dick Weber, Sportsmanship Award winner. Instead, Ted Steichoff, Rookie of the Year. And this was important to him. Michael Haugen Jr., and our PBA 50 Player of the Year, Brian Leclerc. And a couple weeks ago, we didn't think Brian was going to bowl anymore on the tour this year. He hurt his knee pretty bad.
Yeah, he had quite a bad injury, and you can see the big brace that he's wearing that enables him to bowl, but it's still got to be difficult for him.
But congratulations to all those players. Well-deserved and well-earned awards. And we already know Brian Voss, Brian Kretzer. Marshall, we talked a little bit before the end of last match. These two guys can get on top of each other. How is that going to play out in this match, do you think?
Well, I'm not sure how it's going to play out, but in watching the practice, Brian Voss did not look comfortable at all. Not only was he sticking at the line, but he was going high most of the time. So big advantage to Brian Kretzer.
Well, he's got 2 games in this pair. He really had him dialed in that last game. So, yes, you got to believe he's liking his chances right now. Finished 3rd in this event a couple of years ago, looking to improve on that position.
Well, 3rd will be the worst he can finish.
You like that one? Well, he should.
Yeah, just a pinch high. He may want to make a tiny move to the left. Is that ball past the 9 pin?
So we'll see how that the practice there affected Voss. He stuck a couple times, as you mentioned, and that's always in the back of your head no matter what, right?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. He had major problems on this right-hand lane. First with the approach, and then with the inability to hit the pocket. Looks like he's moved considerably further left and is going to do what you said and try and stay on top of where Brian Kretzer's playing.
And he's going with a pearlized ball, try to get a little more length.
He hadn't hit the pocket of that lane in the last 5 minutes.
Nope. He's done this before. Veteran move there, makes a big jump.
Yeah.
And it worked out quite nice. He's
Beautiful.
right about 8.5, 9 down at that rangefinder.
Beautiful shot.
Well, between Brian and Norm Duke, is there any more cerebral players out there? They think in every single shot. You can see so much going through the mind every time.
Yeah, they're really in full concentration, very engaged with what he wants to do and how he needs to do it. Nope.
And Voss, the only player in our Stepladder who has a win this year on the PBA 50 Tour. He won kind of on his home turf in Mooresville.
Yep. Didn't quite get far enough to the right. fortunate just to leave the 6-pin. And the only thing that could keep Brian Voss from making the 6-pin is if he had problems with the approach. And I don't anticipate that.
He did. You see that heel come off the ground?
Oh, my gosh, he did. That's inexcusable.
I look at it there. He definitely stuck a little bit.
Yeah. And an early gift for Brian Kretzer. Can he make that 12 into a 22-pin lead? So far, it's Brian Kretzer's day. Parker Bohn made some uncharacteristic mistakes in his game against Kretzer. And now to see Voss miss the 6-pin, you wouldn't think it was imaginable.
Yeah, we're in Vegas where gambling is legal, and I don't know if anybody would have been against that 6-pin.
Nope. Nope, I gave it to him before he shot it.
Kretzer with a chance for a big early lead here in frame 3.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's feeling it now too. He's starting to walk him all a
little
bit.
He was more aggressive with that shot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he saw Brian kind of jump a little bit, right? So he figured maybe just a little firmer, and that worked out quite nice.
He's put it behind him.
Look at that focus.
Stuck a little bit. Solid 10. Mannerisms haven't changed a bit in 30 years for Brian Voss. We'll watch the 6-pin go around the bottom of the 10. Picks up the 10-pin. Kretzer at a 220 pace. Voss 188. 32-pin deficit early. The best thing Brian has going for him right now, that being Brian Voss, is the fact that there's 7 frames left. Excuse me, make that 6. Better shot. All right. He's lined in on both lanes. He knows what he needs to do. Just has to focus in and make the shots. Here's a great shot. Ball starting around the 4th arrow, going out to around 8 or 9. High flush. And even with Kretzer being lined in, it doesn't mean that something funny might happen and he could come in light or come in high.
Well, he had a couple of 210s in that first match, but we haven't seen anything near that since.
I don't expect it. I would expect him to keep hitting the pocket. Beautiful.
Well, it's instant feedback for Kretzer. You know, off his hand, whatever he likes there.
It's
no question.
He's put himself in a very comfortable and confident position right now. He knows he's matched up with the ball. He knows he's throwing it well. There's no guessing as to what he needs to do. He knows exactly what he has to do.
That's a pretty good feeling right now, isn't it? Your feet in the right spot, and you got lined up there. Just let it go. Do your thing.
He's comfortable. Made that one errant shot in the 10th frame where he went through the nose in the previous game. Just the 10-pin, 7-pin the last to fall. He's shaking his head. It was not a great shot, but it wasn't bad.
So it could have struck.
Yeah.
But it could have also been an other.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. 10-pin, excuse me, the 7-pin. Fortunate for Kretzer, falling over. High and hard at the 10-pin. Nicely done. For Voss right now, really it's incumbent on him to get the strikes in the 5th and 6th frame. Got to put some pressure back onto Kretzer.
Yeah, veteran move there, checking both racks before he gets up to take his turn.
Yep.
Taking one of his rear racks.
So Brian won earlier this year, Voss. Is Kretzer a champion of the?
No, just a one-tour title on the regular tour. Nothing on the senior. That third here last year, his best finish.
Great shot.
Doesn't bowl a lot of the senior events.
Big shot for Brian Voss. At least that lets Kretzer know that, hey, I'm still here, mister.
Well, it looks like he changed something. There was no slide. He just went right to plant. Just kind of taking that stick right out of play. Is that something you can do intentionally? Doesn't seem that easy.
I could have never done that. My slide was, back in the day, was a few feet long.
Right.
This could get the lead down to just 21 pins and keep Voss up with a hammer. Will it get back? No way. No, that ball accelerated past the break point, leaves a super washout, the 1-2-4-6-10. That's frustrating because he was lined up on that lane. He knew what he needed to do, and he just let the ball get past him.
Well, it's makeable, but also loses quite a bit of count.
Quite a bit of count. And two Hall of Famers back-to-back are being awfully nice.
He didn't stick there, but do you think
No.
maybe some of that thinking is, am I going to stick and make sure I get it out so you don't tug it type thing?
Might have been. He lost the ball off his hand. It was right off his hand, plus the leverage wasn't there.
97 in the 6th. So Brian Kretzer with just a huge opportunity to take complete command of the semifinal match.
For Kretzer, he just needs marks. The best Voss can do is 217. And you remember at the start of the final 6 games of match play, he wasn't really very close to the top 5. And now he is moments away from being in the title match. Good acceleration. And there's a shot. He knows that shot right there pretty well wraps this game up. You don't see a lot of emotion from Kretzer, but you're going to see some right now. Take that. Yes, 2 big mistakes for Voss. Missing the 6-pin and then the super washout.
Well, the last title for Brian Kretzer, the Go RV Match Play Championships in 2010. And you see in the background there, Doug Kent, PBA Hall of Famer, was also on that show. Finished third.
Something did not feel right. Voss will start over again. I'm going to throw it. I'm going to throw it. I'm not going to throw it. For any glimmer of an opportunity. Had to have that. Right now he needs help from Kretzer. Kretzer working at a 2:30 pace. The best, as I said earlier, that Voss can do, I believe, is 2:17. Keep adding it up. It keeps coming to the same thing.
I'm going to agree with you on this one. I'll go max score 217 for Brian Voss.
I'm pretty good with simple bowling math.
How about fractions?
I'm pretty good with simple bowling math. Is that going to slide? It does. That's okay. That could have put the exclamation point on the game, but just needs to pick it up, fill frames. Doesn't even need to fill them all. He makes this and needs one more mark. Nicely done. He marks the 9th frame. He just needs to stay behind the foul line in the 10th. And nothing Brian Voss can do. Brian Kretzer from the Cincinnati area?
Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton, Ohio. Okay. Great bowling fans in Dayton, Ohio. That is that.
Little fist bump from Brian Voss. Congratulating
Yeah.
Kretzer.
He's built himself a nice little shot. He's comfortable. Getting a great reaction. Voss, solid 10. He'll finish out the string, but it's going to be Brian Kretzer taking on Mika Koivuniemi for the title.
And two very different styles now coming in this championship match.
Oh, yeah. Kretzer gets the ball down earlier, throws it further to the right. Koivuniemi with the big loft and heavy roll.
Mika finished 9th in this event last year. He's definitely improved on that. Well, he only bowls a couple events a year now as he's coaching overseas. We see him out here in Vegas for the Senior Masters, the Senior U.S. Open, and always pretty darn successful when he's competing.
Yeah, I talked to him earlier. He said that he doesn't, you know, he's practiced more in the last couple of months getting ready for this, but still not like he practiced back in the day when he was on the regular tour. You know, he'll get 3 games in here or there, but he certainly figured them out and dominated this field for a good portion of the tournament to take the lead.
Well, it's going to be a 3rd place finish in this major for Brian Voss. He has 1 win already on the 50 tour, he mentioned, in Mooresville. And it's not the last time we'll see him in a stepladder final for sure. But Brian Kretzer is going to have a chance for his 2nd PBA title. First one in a long time, and this one could be a major, but he's got to take on Major Mika. He didn't get that name by not winning majors.
No, he's comfortable in this situation. Although, if I've been watching, and I'm sure Mika has, he's saying to himself, damn, that Kretzer is lined in pretty good. I better bowl a big-time quality game.
How do you pronounce that in Finnish? Any idea? Damn.
Damn. Same way.
Same way?
Same way, absolutely.
Kretzer having fun with the crowd. We'll finish up, but we've got the championship match up next. Mika Koivuniemi, our tournament leader, will take on this man right here from Dayton, Ohio, Brian Kretzer.
It'll be a 258 with a fill ball. He bought 240 in his last game.
46, I believe.
246, 243, something like that. A little bit shaky in the first game. Figured it out towards the end of the game. Dominated against Parker Bohn and dominated against Brian Voss.
Yeah. Mika Koivuniemi is up next right here, live on Xtra Frame. Well, PBA Deputy Commissioner Kirk Von Kruger taking care of introductions for us, and that is Major Mika and Kretzer here. Championship match, Suncoast Senior U.S. Open.
Well, Kretzer looked unbeatable in the last couple of games. One thing going against, well, a couple of things going against Kretzer. One is Mika, and then it's the time in between games. You know, how did he handle that? Is that going to take his rhythm and set it aside a little bit? First couple shots will show.
Well, and he has not been in this position a lot in his career either to win a major.
Right. Yeah. The moment. Well, beautiful shot, leaves a solid 9. He's happy with this shot, not with the result, but with the execution. And I'm thinking that he'll probably knows he needs to dance in a little bit to the left, get the ball to cut through the pocket in a less steep fashion. No problem with the 9-pin. Yeah, Mika has been in the position of winning many, many more times.
Well, and for bowling fans out there, this is a treat. It's been a while since we've seen Mika on a Stepladder final and a chance to win a title here. So,
and we'll watch the way he gets the ball down the lane. He's tall and strong, good reach, lifts the ball out onto the lane. Kind of eliminates the first part of the lane.
You think when he looks at the lane graph, he just tears the sheet in half, and I don't need the first half.
Just let me see the last part.
Save some paper.
Watch how far the ball is lofted out on the lane. That's all the way to the dots.
10 feet, so
yeah,
8, 9, 10 feet. Yeah, that's a ways. I mean, yes, he is tall. It doesn't have the knee bend that we see from a Parker Bohn III, but still, that's a lot of loft.
That's a good. He's a excellent player. Doesn't compete as much as he used to, but he knows how to win. He's been there so many times. Not going to be intimidated by the moment. All right, Mr. Kretzer, I'm here.
Let's see what you got.
Yeah, that's a statement. 2 high flush shots. Trying to become only the second foreign-born player to win on the PBA 50 Tour. The other, of course, Amleto Monticelli. Multiple winner out here. Kretzer after the solid 9. Strong shot.
That's quite the deep breath. He's showing a little bit of nerves.
Yeah, watch the 6-pin, take care of the 10. Strong. With as much ball as Kretzer throws, that shot light in the pocket in that rip zone, that's a friendly place for his ball to hit. I talked to Mika just prior to the Stepladder finals, and he said, I can't do anything about my opposition. I got to take care of my own shots. Very simple, forthright way to look at it.
Looked a little left, maybe. No, high flush.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Just look how that ball's fading out for him. Where other players, they do that, it just hooks right left, but not. I mean, watch this shot here. How's that?
Very strong release. Projects the ball out to the right, and it did. It kind of flattened out toward the end.
Well, the other thing, Mika, we talked about it earlier, 14 titles, 3 majors, and you got to bet first ballot Hall of Famer next year when he's eligible after his 20 years.
I think that's pretty much a no-brainer. I believe Mika also one of a number of bowlers who have shot 300 on a nationally televised final.
I know he had that very famous 299 against Tom Doherty.
That's right. 299 100.
Yes.
The most gracious 100 ever bowled.
And a front 4 start for Mika here.
Yeah.
Kretzer tucks that pinky under there nice and tight.
I used to do that to give me just a little more leverage off the hand. He needs it. He got it.
Oh, that bounced a couple times, but held line. 10 back.
The only thing that stopped these first 8 frames from being all strikes was a solid 9 in the opening frame. Ball sets up nice in the pocket. And a terrible break. The 10 pin does fall. 10 falls late, but he thought that was going to be a strike.
You can really see on that great camera work there the focus and how steady he keeps his head all the way through release. But
head pin to the sideboard. Takes out the 10 pin, but the 7 pin doesn't even budge. Important spare. Nicely done. Someone forgot to silence their cell phone.
Carmen Salvino, phone call.
Check to make sure mine was. It's silenced.
I checked mine first as well.
I could silence.
Not it.
You can silence my phone, but you can't silence me.
No, who would want to?
Many people. Chance to get another 10 pins on that lead.
Oh, he was watching. I wasn't sure if he was watching because he didn't like it or watching it because it was really, really good.
I'm going to guess the latter. What heads? I don't remember Mika with such a strong roll back in the day.
No, a lot more up the back of it.
Yeah.
But he's really getting around it nice now. And
shaping
it a lot more than we normally saw.
I think he has the ability to do multiple things with the ball. I'll tell you, the last time I saw 6 shots look that crisp was many years ago. Bob Benoit shooting 300 in Grand Prairie, Texas, and every shot was high flush. Now, Mika's only halfway there, but those first 6 shots were perfection. Kretzer's bowled a quality game. He's got a swishing 7-pin and a solid 9 to go along with 3 in a row. That crept high, left the 4-pin.
Well, there's some doubt now in Kretzer's mind, right? The last couple of shots. I mean, the last shot, the 7-10, almost 7-10 wasn't so bad, but this one creeping a little high.
Yeah, that's the worst shot he's thrown in quite some time. Makes a spare. Kretzer working at a 2-team pace. Right now, Koivuniemi at a 240 pace.
Yet to miss and show any inkling where he's just not going to strike right now. Mika's really locked in. And Kretzer, time for a couple of strikes.
You know, I wasn't sure about the first game, but I really thought that Bohn was the favorite to win his game. He didn't. And then I liked Voss's chance of winning his game. He didn't. And then I thought, well, Kretzer's got the advantage. Good shot. Come back with a nice strike. Kretzer's got the advantage because he's the one that won the semifinal match and finds himself quite a bit to the rears.
What I just learned is don't go to the horse track with Marshall Holman.
Oh, gosh. No, go to the horse track with Marshall Holman. Just bet on the other horse.
There you go.
Unfortunately, there are too many other options. So, yeah. You're not likely to see me at a horse track anytime in the near future. Mika with a front 6. Solid 10.
A little bounce on that one.
Yeah, more bounce on that one. That changed the break point down the lane. Ball came in just a little bit late. You can see a little more bounce there. Watch the 6-pin go around the 10.
But just changes that entry angle just a little bit, and that's all it takes.
Just a little bit. Changes to a spare ball. Important to keep focus. Pick up your spares. And absolutely no problem.
Well, Kretzer can still shoot 258, so this is far from over.
That's correct. That is true.
Mika pacing 249.
Mika would have liked to have struck there and then in the 8th frame, which would have put him at a 260 pace, which means all he needed were marks in the 9th and 10th. But he's still in a dominating position in this game. But like you said, 258 possible for Brian Kretzer. 279 possible for Mika. I think he likes this pair.
I think so. I think he wouldn't mind another couple games in this pair if he had to.
Yeah.
But this will be the only game. This is the championship match here, the Suncoast Senior U.S. Open. Look at that focus.
Yeah.
Staring it down.
And Mika will show emotion, but not yet.
Yeah, not till the
Not yet. He doesn't want to use any extra energy that isn't necessary right now. Must have. That was left off his hand. That was left off his hand.
Didn't like it at all.
Nope. And that will make Koivuniemi's job that much easier. That was never projected down the lane the way he has been for the most part over the last 3 games. Makes the spare.
That's now 238 possible max score for Kretzer.
And
Mika's in the 240s.
Mika needs to fill frames.
Yeah.
Major Mika. And a major problem right now for Kretzer. Really, every shot now is a must strike. Better projection down the lane. And he knows it's hard to continue to make great shot after great shot after great shot.
Well, under this pressure situation as well.
Yeah.
2 great games coming up to this, but it doesn't get any easier.
No.
Regardless of this outcome, Kretzer must be pleased with his week. Still qualified 5th. Good match play record. You know,
Yeah.
he got in position round, defeating Steve Smith to get that 5 spots.
And
Doesn't bowl full time either on tour.
No, made the big run in the last 6 games to get himself into the top 5. There was a shot that Mika was starting to run out.
I think we would have heard a yell on that one.
He wanted to strike there and give it a little at you. He's starting to run it out. He likes it. He likes it. He likes it. Are you kidding me? Don't you know who I am?
Major Mika.
But he's doing his job. Must make the spare. Needs one more mark with a strike there. That would have done it.
Yes.
Then he wouldn't have really needed to do anything in the 10th frame. But he still needs to keep his concentration.
Yeah,
I gotta like his chances. Yeah. He's thrown 4 shots on that lane, and I believe he struck how many times? 4.
Yeah, with 238 still possible for Kretzer. Must have a mark.
One more quality shot. That is enough. There's your winner right there, Mika Koivuniemi.
Got some countrymen in attendance that bowled this event as well, cheering him on in the background. Some Swedes, some Finns here bowled this event. Mika Koivuniemi, Major Mika, picks up his first win on the senior tour, and wow, shocker, it's a major.
Yeah, right. There's the emotion that he was storing up for just the right time. Just a superior performance in the qualifying, in the match play, and in this final game.
Well, nice Stepladder for Kretzer. Nice solid tournament again. Second, he improves on his best finish on tour in this event. It happens to be. But Mika Koivuniemi.
And a backdoor strike for Kretzer.
This is now they fall. Mika is our winner. Marshall, we'd like to hear some words from Mika, so hop on down there and let's have a chat with our champion here.
Absolutely.
In Las Vegas.
First of all, congratulations, Mika. This is your nickname is Major Mika, so your first 50 champion win, a major. A surprise?
Kind of surprised, but not. I only been bowling majors in PBA 50.
Now, you took the job as the coach of the team in the United Arab Emirates. You don't do a lot of bowling anymore.
No, I don't bowl as much than I used to bowl, and my body kind of gave up 3 years ago. So I have a great opportunity in Arab Emirates, and they let me come out and bowl a few tournaments a year. I appreciate that, and I really enjoy doing this, especially here with all the old guys.
Yeah. Now you were watching. You had to be watching a little bit, as the finals were progressing, and Brian Kretzer was just so totally locked in. What effect did that have on you?
Nothing. It's my job to bowl as good as I can, and then he have to beat me.
Well, you did. You bowled as good as you can, and he couldn't quite get you. You made all quality shots. Kretzer made a couple shots that weren't quite there, and the championship is yours. Congratulations. Let's bring the proprietor of the bowling center in with a nice trophy.
Mika, on behalf of the staff and management here at Suncoast, it's my pleasure to present you with this trophy to commemorate a great week of bowling here. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. And I believe there's some money that's involved in winning the tournament. Be bringing in a check. Kirk von Kruger, the Vice Commissioner of the PBA, for the check presentation.
Let's go with a pretty one. On behalf of the Suncoast Professional Bowlers Association and all the fans out here, thank you for supporting this event. It's incredible to watch these great players bowl on a weekly basis. Mika, a big check for $10,000. I feel like we're in a Happy Gilmore movie here. I don't know if this will cash, but you can take that one. And then the real check for $10K. Don't put it all on one number, okay? Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
Congratulations once again. Mika Koivuniemi, he's your champion. He dominated the qualifying, he dominated match play, and he was certainly the best player in the final match. Congratulations, Mika.
Thank you, and I'd like to thank Suncoast for hosting this great tournament. Thanks for the PBA. Thanks all the volunteers, all the players. It was my pleasure to be here, and I hope I can come back next year.
Well, we all want you to come back as well, and we'd like to see you more often. I know you're busy with your day job, but boy, you still throw the ball great. Mika Koivuniemi, your 2018 U.S. Open Senior Champion.